Hello my friends, welcome to my channel, and today I will be looking at Earthworm Jim, Launch the Cow. A book by the wonderful, the magnificent, the ever-impressive Doug TenNapel. Now, full disclosure. Doug, I consider a friend. I've been on his channel promoting my book. I've been on his channel just chatting. We chat a little bit here and there on Twitter and stuff like that. So, I just want to get that out of the way in case I'm, blamed for being, playing favorites or whatever. Full disclosure, I do play favorites. But to be perfectly honest, this is an excellent work, so it deserves to be highlighted. So what you see before you now is the ever impressive and ever talked about box that this book was shipped in. I'm just going to crack it open here. Not going to pull everything out, but as you can see on the top here, there was the Bigfoot Bill 2 preview, just posters. There was a patch, some blockhead stuffs, and one thing I was really impressed with, other than the massive size poster, which I have no wall space for, unfortunately. If I just move this stuff out of the way. There we go. I got 3 art prints. This one on the top here is my favorite. Push this up a little bit. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. They're printed on really nice, watercolor textured paper. Really well done. I appreciate that. I didn't... Here's the thing. I backed at the lowest tier. Okay? Oh, and I got some trading cards too, but they're already put away in my trading card book. I backed at the lowest tier, and as far as I know, most people who backed at the lowest tier got at least everything in the box. Maybe not the art prints, but just amazing. Now, let's get back down here to focus on Peter Puppy here. Oh. Sorry about the shake there. And we'll bring the book up. So here's the book, Earthworm Jim, Launch the Cow by Doug TenNapel. Really, really, really beautiful book, I must say. He totally blew everybody out of the water with his printing. I mean, this is a heavy book. It's 160 pages, I believe. Fully hardcover. Hear that? Yeah. Now you can't really see it on here, but there's gold leafing in on these bracers here that Earthworm Jim is wearing, and there's actually gold leafing. Let's push this up here. Oh, come on. There we go. There's actually gold leafing around the entire edge of the book, but you can't really see it. You can kind of see it reflecting a little bit there. But if I hold it up to the camera, it just turns black because it's reflecting all the light coming down on it. So, physics. Anyway, this book is some impressive. I don't want to show you too much of the inside of it, to be perfectly honest, because it's pretty decent. I'll just open to the first page here. Now, this is the first page. Isn't that beautiful? It's not really the first page, but it's the first page of the actual story. And, I mean, the color is eye-popping. The printing, really well done. You don't get much better than this, right? We'll go about this far. And, I mean, what can I say? The presentation is excellent, but comic books are more than just presentation, right? There's a story inside, so we want to know about that. And I apologize if you hear my cats meowing in the background. They like to do that when I'm making videos, so it is what it is. So back to the story. Well, Earthworm Jim's always been kind of tongue-in-cheek sort of property, I would say. Never overly serious, from what I remember. Now, I wasn't the hugest fan ever. I watched the cartoon a little bit, when it was on, and I played the game. Mostly played the game because, you know, that's what you did when you were a kid back then on the Super Nintendo. I never had the Sega Genesis version, which I heard was better or something like that. I don't think I even knew anyone that had a Sega Genesis. And back then, you didn't really own a lot of games. Everybody maybe owned like maybe 4 games, and we sort of like traded them back and forth between people. So yeah, Earthworm Jim was one of those games that I played. So it was pretty cool. In fact, that's the whole reason I got interested in talking with Doug, because of Earthworm Jim. And then he got the property back to do this book, which is just really cool. So now, of course, his first book that he launched under, I don't know what you want to call it, his new publishing, self-publishing, was, of course, Bigfoot Bill. And, you know, let me just focus a little bit here. Bigfoot Bill is another excellently printed book, of course, hardcover. And I already reviewed that one, so I'm not going to, you know, gush on that book anymore. But story-wise, comparatively, Bigfoot Bill's a little bit more serious, I guess. It's still kooky, it's still fun, but it just felt like there was a lot of randomness in Earthworm Jim, which I don't mind because I like that kind of humor. I laughed several times while reading the book. It's definitely all ages, like Bigfoot Bill, and all ages is not a bad thing, guys. It does not everything has to be rated R to be enjoyable. You know, like that's the thing. Like everybody's all about the dark, edgy stuff. Earthworm Jim and Bigfoot Bill have characters in them that can be considered sort of frightening. Like, just look at Peter Puppy here on the cover. Is that a spoiler? Does everybody know that he can transform? Sorry. There's your spoiler for the review. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty freaky design. There's some freaky creatures and stuff in here. Bigfoot Bill of course had the Mothman. You know, like as written on the title, which is not invisible because it's foil and the light's reflecting all over it. But anyway, and Bigfoot Bill had a couple other like kind of freaky deaky monsters in it. So you can be all ages and you can have things that are chilling, but they don't have to be violent and they don't have to be gory or anything like that. I really commend Doug for trying to keep these books sort of in that middle gray area where kids can enjoy it really well, parents can enjoy it, anybody can enjoy it, right? And the writing definitely passes into that realm where it's not real super wordy, but you can tell there's some real thought and genius put into the words that come out. There's a lot of little like quippy jokes and stuff like that. And humor is a hard thing to pull off, especially in something like this. Now I will say, there were a lot of poop related jokes in Earthworm Jim, which I guess kind of makes sense because he's a worm. But I was never really big on the poop related jokes. I do find them funny, I do laugh, but it's not really my go-to humor. But I understand. It's funny because Bigfoot Bill didn't really have much of that in it. But, you know, they're different properties, so whatever. It is what it is. I still enjoyed it. I'm still going to buy a sequel if he makes one. I mean, I'm definitely going to buy Bigfoot Bill 2. And you know what's really cool? Like, this is going to look... I know this is kind of superficial, but as somebody who likes to like display and collect things, let me just stick this here, and it's probably not going to look all that great. Sorry about this. There we go. You know, I can stack these on my shelf, and they have really nice, you know, spine labeling on them and stuff like that. I do appreciate that. I like I like the nice spine labeling and stuff like that on my books. Somebody can look at it on the shelf and say, "Oh, what the heck is Bigfoot Bill? What the heck is Earthworm Jim?" You know, like, and they can pull it out and they can read it and they can have a great time. And that's what these books are about. They're about having a great time. They would make great animations too. Like, I know Doug comes from animation, so it makes perfect sense. Now, I think that's all. You know, I guess this isn't much of a review. More like I said, a sort of a gushing over just how freaking awesome this thing is. Doug is the one to beat if in independent comics. Let me just put it that way. But if you like this sort of thing, if you like cool looking artwork and independent comics and whatnot, and you're really, really, really disenfranchised with Star Wars right now, like I am, why not try Of Time and Space, The Lunar Rise? Doug TenNapel said it was one of the worst titles he ever heard. And I think I'm going to put that on when I relaunch on the book. One of the worst titles I ever heard. Doug TenNapel, that's going to be his quote. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. I won't put that on there, but I can see where he's coming from. It's a weird phrasing thing. So when you put it in a sentence and you're talking about it, you can have two ofs and it looks weird. Which is why I usually abbreviate the top part, because it's more like Star Wars. Book's actually called Lunar Rise, The Lunar Rise. So this is the ash can that the current backers are getting, printed by the ever lovely George Alexopoulos. And I've been trying to get these out for my backers. And I was hoping to ship them before Christmas, and a lot of stuff happened, like car troubles and not being able to find supplies to ship them and all this stuff. So, New Year, January, they're going to go out. I'm going to get the dang envelopes, and I'm going to ship the things out. And anybody who's got like mugs or anything like that, those will be coming too. So, everything will ship together. If you've just got the book, it'll probably come in like a padded envelope with some cardboard around it. The comic itself will be in a sleeve with a back on it, like a comic should be, not, you know, thrown in the mail with your address printed on the back of it or whatever. And sorry. Hopefully those will be out for you in the new year. It'll be a nice little surprise. And then we can relaunch and we can actually finish this book, because right now it's only half of the book. This thing is 160 pages. This thing is supposed to be 48, but right now it's like 27. So we'll get that done. We're gonna fund this book this time, and then you're gonna get issue 2 and 3, and then you're gonna get the sequel, and that'll have God only knows how many parts. We'll see. And then, you know, maybe I'll go and I'll do the other planned parts, but we'll see how far it goes. For right now, I just really want to get part 1 and 2 out, which is Lunar Rise, followed by Dragon Flare, and however many issues that need to come out in those 2 parts. And then maybe, if it's real successful, like I hope it's going to be, I can put them in a book like this, all collected together. Wouldn't that be super? And maybe get them in color, because, you know, Rob Cannon's artwork really deserves to be in color. I think that's everything. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I would honestly can't even recommend enough that you go right now, the next time Doug puts up a campaign, which I believe is in February, and you back it. You back Bigfoot Bill too, and you try to get both of these books, because sometimes he has extras and he puts them in the campaign, because they are phenomenal books, and you should own every single one of his books. That's my review. Buy all of Doug's books. Everything he puts out from now on. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Oh. And one more thing. Guys, there's a freaking glow-in-the-dark page near the front of this book. How freaking sweet is that?